Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's do some preambles. Given that we are back, I mean, just when you think that you got all things covered, everything's set, but seems that some of these systems have their, their own mindsets. Uh, got their own mindsets. Okay, I think we're actually out of time. Like, we're really behind schedule. Supposed to be up for 2 p.m., but we're headed to 2:30 right now. So some of the connections needed to touch on them. I had done that earlier, but it does look like it had a mind of its own. Okay, welcome everybody. I mean, 2027 is already hotting up. And like I said, that this platform is going to be just about breaking news, but just about anything that is breaking uh, out there, especially as it relates to the regional politics. From time to time, we do national politics, yeah. For those who don't know, in the mornings we come on from 7:30 to do some interesting headlines out of the dailies, mostly from Punch. We also do headlines from Daily Trust, Daily Independence, um, Daily Posts, Premium Times. Some of those headlines just to set the tone for the day. So I guess that somehow, some way, we would find some sort of niche ground to bring you some of the interesting updates that we have for you. So, something's brewing in Enugu State. Uche Naji, the Minister for Science and Technology, jumped a bombshell, I think it's a few days back. It was yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was yesterday, actually. And he was saying clearly that APC would clinch Enugu states. And of course, he has been with the APC. He was actually the gubernatorial candidate of the APC in 2023. And so we all know how that election went. I'm sure they scored something along the neighborhood of just around under 10,000 votes. It wasn't anything to be worried about. In fact, even APGA was even rated higher than them. And it's largely because of some people would say, well, Labour Party did a lot, you know, with the influence of PDP. with the influence of Peter Obi rather. And then the PDP wasn't forthcoming with giving the Southeast the opportunity to, vie for this position. Then it became a huge problem. Anyways, I would talk about that a little later, but let's just tell you what the story is really so that we would, speak with some clear tones and with some interesting direction. So let's go straight into the story. We're going to be speaking to a guest right after I read the story. Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Naji, has frowned at what he called indiscriminate demolition of markets and people's shops by the Enugu state government without notice and compensation, thereby inflicting untold hardship on the traders, leading to deaths of several traders in the last 1 year. Naji spoke at Ogurute, Iboez, a North local government area of Enugu state, on Sunday when he received more than 500 defectors from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Labour Party, and the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, into the All Progressives Congress, APC. The leader of the APC in Enugu state stressed that it was wrong to destroy people's means of livelihood in the name of building modern motor parks. The minister also expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for appointing Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala, who is from the local government area, as the Chief of Naval Staff, and thanks the people for their decision to join APC en masse. Naji, who was accompanied by the state chairman of APC, Barrister Ogochukwu Agbala, deputy governorship candidate of the APC in 2023 elections, Barrister George Ogara, and the pro-chancellor, chairman of the governing council of Michael Obara University of Agriculture, Umudike, Abia State, Comrade Fidel Izede, among other party leaders, stated that the APC will do everything possible and under the law to displace the PDP government under Governor Peter Amba in 2027 general elections. He condemned an alleged attempt by the West and North Local Government Authority and the PDP leaders in the area to stop the mini rally, which made the organizers change the original venue to another venue, saying it was abuse of authority and political intolerance. It says, quote, "We heard that some people were trying to abuse their authority by attempting to stop this gathering today, to the extent that we have to move from the original venue to this place. What we have come today is more of liberating our people. Enugu has never had it this bad, and as I stand today, I imagine how a people can survive without something like Ogige Nsuka Market. Ogige Nsuka Market has gone. They have bulldozed Ogige Nsuka to ashes without any notice. Many of our people have died out of that singular act of government. If you come to Enugu too, Holy Ghost suffered the same fate. Gariki and Ababa suffered the same fate. And Ogurute Market here in Iboez, a North local government area, suffered the same fate. And I wonder how our people, who are predominantly businessmen, can survive without trading. An average Igbo man is a trader. So if you keep on destroying the market, demolishing the markets without compensation, without providing an alternative, I don't know how our people are going to survive, and that is why we have brought out ourselves. Come rain, come shine, that we are going to fight. We are going to do everything humanly possible and within the ambit of the law to make sure that come 2027, our people will start rejoicing again. We are moving to the Lion Building in Enugu State Government House. We are going to make our people happy. The road will be open. It's not a situation of opening CCTV for people to listen to governor of any or anybody in authority. I will meet you live. You will come. We will have interaction with you live, and we will not be afraid of meeting our people. We will meet with our people when we get into government house. Come 2027, the minister are sorted. Naja stated that APC Enugu will not stop anybody who wants to defect to the party, noting that the door of the party will be open to welcome new members, but that nobody will snatch the structure of the party from them. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows that we are here. He knows we are doing all these things for the state and for him and for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He knows that he has our support 101%, and he's behind us. We are APC. We are not running away anywhere for anybody's sake. All right, it's an interesting conversations, if you ask me. Some of the defectors are Honorable Ikechukwu Obogo, former Executive Vice Chairman, Igboeza North Local Government Area under PDP, Honorable Barrister Osita Ogwoke, Honorable Festus Ayogo of PDP Bravo, Chief Oliver Idoko, Ego Amaka Transport, Honorable Emmanuel Itodo, EGAS, and Professor Onyeka, A. Onyeke, former House of Assembly member under Odes Enugu State, and Honorable Ojobo Ikechukwu Jr., Ebube. Others are Honorable Emeka Okenyi, former Labour Party chieftain, Chief Onu Emmanuel from PDP, Chief Cosmos Onu, former Abga chieftain, Sunday Eze, PDP, Idoko Uchenna, PDP, Eya Hilary, PDP, and Festo Zugu, former executive vice chairman of the local government under PDP, and their numerous supporters. The defectors stated that they were joining APC because of the appointment of their brother as chief of naval staff, as well as neglect by their former parties over the years. All right. It's interesting. I mean, it's okay to boast that you're going to win, but then what are the numbers? What are people saying basically about the party in Enugu State? Does the party have that structure to win an election in Enugu State? You know, because again, since 2015, the APC hasn't been able to win anything really. They haven't been able to win any electoral position. Recently, we've seen defections. We've seen House of Reps, Paul Namchi. We've seen Samuel Atu, you know, moving ship to the APC. We've seen the member representing Ibweza, I think Ibweza and Enugu North. Ibweza, that's a Suka Access, Sunday Ame, also defecting to the APC. I mean, and the APC hasn't really won any elective position. They've never gone to the election and win from the election. It has never happened really. So we would speak to Barrister Alex Amujogo, who is waiting on the other side to speak to us regarding this development. And we'll also have you join on the conversation as well, so that we would have this robust conversation this afternoon. Okay, here we go. It's 2:34, and I want to appreciate everyone who have tried to tune in from 2 p.m. Apparently, we had a bit of a glitch. You know that INEC glitch? The INEC glitch that happened during the 2023 elections. So we had a bit of a glitch, you know, and that's the reason why we couldn't start about 2 o'clock. I saw a lot of people were trying to tune in at that time. So apologies for that, but we're back, we're live, and we're kicking. And the numbers are pretty green. So let's see if we can connect to Barrister Alex Amujogu this afternoon. Hopefully he's in an environment where it's pretty cool, so we could have this conversation. Okay, he had actually called in at about 2 o'clock, I think past 2 or so, asking whether we were still having the conversation, because he was actually told earlier about the developments. Let's see what we can do with this. Barrister, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time. Sorry we couldn't kickstart early enough for 2 o'clock like we promised, but because of some technical glitches. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, first things first, let's begin with these thoughts by the Minister for Science and Technology, Uche Naji, saying that they will try as much as possible. In fact, they say there's nothing would stop them from clinching the PDP or dislodging the PDP in 2027. What's your first reaction to that comment by Uche Naji?
It is, to me, the issue of changing an incumbent is not a tight spray. It's not not a lofty dream. It is an art must be prepared with hard work. It is very easy to say in the mouth that you dislodge an incumbent, but in reality, that is the issue. What entities have you put on ground so that there is your wish comes to fruition? So, to me, what is happening, even though I am not part of this government, but the government in power is giving us a parameter that is very difficult to surmount. View of the structure on ground. It's a Korean task. So those who are opposing his government to appeal him. So we need to go extra mile to convince the voters that a moment there is coming. So for now, the person on ground is somehow becoming hard to crack. But there is still people that can crack it in the future.
But again, he's speaking from a vintage position. He has support from the federal government, and the federal government is also looking at what can happen in 2027 and even beyond 2027. Don't you think that if opposition collectively come together, they are able to dislodge the APC? I mean, the PDP in the state?
So to me, the issue is that even though that how about the voters? What is the problem? Issue of religion. Even though you're in power, you can control maybe INEC can control the security or another major forces that conduct election. But the issue is that for you to rig an election, you must have convinced a high degree of voters. You must have a foundation that is solid. Then you can now use it to change the dynasty of the people. So you don't just vote on federal government or if you are in charge of the national security forces or other things. You must have built a foundation that will now be easier. You cannot win a government and expect to be a governor of the state and cover 17 local government. So you must work very hard on your own. So don't just believe or wish that you have assistance from federal level or from any level. You must come down to the grassroots, come to the voters, to the locals, convince them, let them buy your idea, have a strong network, have a strong foundation. Then, with those who are on ground, then you are now able, you are not fully equipped to be for external assistance. But if you rely on the federal might or national influence, you believe that you change the government in power. But it's never like that. So you better let that aside and come down to the lower level, to the grassroots, make a very strong presence in your constituency, in your state, in the local government. So be convinced that you are prepared to bring a new change. It's better than the one on ground. That is when you can have hope that the possibility of having a change in government is possible. So even though the APC at this moment are showing a kind of serious presence, the issue of detention here and there. So it's an advantage showing that things will not be as easy as before. That's why we need a strong opposition party in a state. With that fear of opposition party coming up, what is now putting the government under serious pressure, do a better work. There's no choice. There's no choice. If you have pressure against you, then you will now make an effort to double your vision, to double your hard work, to double your ambition. You double it so that you can outweigh those who are now coming to you. So I am happy that this is now experiencing a serious change. I'm telling you, a serious change. Not that the change had there been struggle to be done. But today, things are now changing. But we need a more position power in Enugu State. So I think it will double state development and the state growth. So it is a good domain for us if we have a formidable forces in APC, even in Africa and others, who can rise up and begin to put extra pressure on the government in power. They're seeing, even though they're not talking, but they're seeing that there is danger. They have a kind of on the world. Don't do the right thing. And meanwhile, the world is changing. INEC is being pressured to do the right thing. And I'm sort of saying, every sort of thing done in Nigeria will be an improvement. But the world is changing. You make the right thing. Even if you are the religion from previously, we have a religion where you carry ballot board. You have some youths or some good ones who come and carry ballot board in the polling and have material. But now, it is over. It is over because it's now computerized by this apparatus. So the more the base is growing, the more the years is growing, that is the more we are having a new set of departments. Even though we will not get it 100% at the moment, but we are headed somewhere.
Right.
People try to say that they will transmit the results electronically, one way or the other. But even though the court has said that they can do that by manual, by electronically, but there's now a pressure on the lawmakers to have the kind of a review the electoral act. Yeah, it will now be compulsory and obligatory for INEC to ensure that whatever result they will declare, it will be as seen in the IRF. Also, as in electronical transmission. Not just manual transmission of results, or manual transmission of results. So we are heading from that is evil. And that issue of change is now putting pressure on government officers who are in power. But they must deliver that. No longer business as usual. You must work. That is democracy. The people must be happy with you. Otherwise, you must go.
Right.
No matter how long they are holding power by force. Every day, parties are now growing up. So, what was they had? That vote was count. It's improving. Even it's not right now. But there's an improvement going on in Nigeria as regards our electoral system. So those who have no choice than to do the rating they are being elected by the people. Because the government of the state, you must possess a tangible vision that you must work on. So we see the drawing and see the action in you. For them to now believe you for another tenure of election.
All right. What do you make of this particular opposition, the ADC that is emerging? A lot of persons have been speaking about it, and it does not look like the Southeast or even Enugu State has any bearing to it. We haven't heard anybody from the Southeast or from the South, defect to the ADC. Unlike what we have seen and heard in the North. In the North, it's as if they are the ones carrying the whole thing on their head. So one would wonder, really, from your standpoint, with what you see, is the ADC a formidable force that can emerge, just like what we saw in 2023, where Labour Party came from nowhere and swept the entire southern part of the country, except for a few places. So do you see the same thing happen with the ADC as a formidable opposition that can dislodge the PDP? Or do you see, more or less a coalition of different persons, and we're trying to narrow it down to what Enugu is and how the landscape is in the Southeast?
That's to me, the weather is not looking good, looking all that good for the Southeast and even for Enugu State, the coalition of ADC. The Southeast has not been in the most of that coalition. From the one I'm seeing it. Even though they try to use yesterday the P2OB as a cover price, P2OB is no longer there. We have lost our foot. I'm telling you.
You mean the entire Southeast?
Southeast entirely. If P2OB leaves ADC, that is, Southeast will collapse. You don't have formidable men who are in ADC. We don't have men who can be called a founding father. We don't have men who can.
What about Atiku? Is Atiku not formidable enough? Yeah, I say, what about Atiku? Is Atiku not formidable enough?
For the South, I'm talking about.
Okay, for the South.
For the South.
Mm.
If people do this ADC, the Southeast will collapse of the guard ADC.
But there's also Amechi. Some people will also argue there's Amechi. Amechi is from the South, so he can also muscle some strength if he's supported.
This is playing a one man show. He's playing a one man game. You cannot employ a person, which is the Hawks are well positioned in the Hawks are well positioned. That is in the North. Who are among the upper ego. So they have already used them. ADC. That is why I don't why the South or the Southeast. They always are on the third leg. Whenever there is issue of national amalgamation or merger. They're always the supporter. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because you see how ADC is positioned. Even though that the destruction of ADC is a little but he has been consumed. He has been consumed. If it was in the North, it was from the North. Even if you are trying to leave the party for them, but you will still be relevant. You will still be a stakeholder.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. So I don't know why you always playing a third leg in everything that you are doing. I don't know where it is coming from. So the Southeast was always trying to, at the beginning, view themselves in the top one. Let them be the one that is moving about. Let them be the initiators. Because they have left Nigeria for others. That is why they are playing a third leg. They are not the one that they are not able to coalition from our own side before us will join. Not like the others that will be calling us to come and join. That is the problem we are having everywhere. Both in APC, you will not see 12 months of the South. It's not the South in APC. Even common Labour Party now. You see how you are you see how you have been struggling with Labour Party. You see how you have been. I don't know. You have knowledge. You have no. None of us said you have no change. So they say even though have no change, they have no leader. So we don't believe in anybody. No respect. And it's clean up. You don't have a person that can just say a word. Anybody will now listen. You see how Abule is asking people to this or telling people to this. So that is how we don't have any respect. And it's affecting us. I did think that the Southeast have to who can say a word. Everybody will tune into that system. Then other people will now have respect for us. Because they know that we are hypocrites. You can easily buy it got over money, and you just go. Everybody's on his own. That is why they're just using us in every platform. They're just using us. That is why I say that the only way we can escape from this chain, it's not a chain. No. The only way we can escape from this chain is for us to see peaceful, know where the ball is going to, or where the ball can bring a good score. And follow that ball. But as for now, they are not yet fully matured. From what I'm seeing. So, on our own. So, stand on our own and have a good result. It's good outcome of the nation. Now, because we don't have a collective collect even willingness to operate it up. There's no that complete concern. That's the issue.
Your line seems to be breaking a little bit, but let's just continue and hope it clears. So going forward now, for instance, you don't see APC dislodging the PDP in Enugu State. Let's switch gears to something else. We have had this, talk about Enugu State being a state that is fast growing, but there are still complaints within the states. There are talk about the fact that there's this high tax in Enugu State. For you, is it true with the people you have communicated with the people you've interacted with? Is it really true that Enugu State is putting tax so high, so much so that people are even closing their shops and people are running away from tax force when they hear that tax force are actually coming their way on a certain day?
On the issue of tax in Enugu State, I will only say that the issue is not high tax. From my own view, the issue is not high tax. That is the disadvantage we may call to have existed. Whenever you hear that statement, that philosophical statement, tomorrow is here. If you hear tomorrow, then we have an abnormal condition, whether that is to good or to bad. So whenever you hear tomorrow is here, that is where that issue of people are complaining about high tax, because Enugu have not been accustomed to the issue of paying tax. This is the soul of Peter Mba. We have to bring that a new environment in Enugu State or a new order in Enugu State. He must go beyond the normal. So he's going beyond the normal. What somebody says tomorrow is here, it means that what is not yet ripe should be ripe today. See, what is not yet matured should mature today. And what you compulsorily make a claim that should not ordinarily mature today. People who are involved will be somehow be injured or there will be an element of injury, even though for his own good. So because in every nation, in every state, in every developed nation, people pay tax. That is compulsory. Because in the economy, it's compulsory payment to the government. Okay, help the government to bring infrastructure, to bring facilities around the environment. So tax is a necessity. That is the engine of any government. And Peter Mba, His Excellency, saw that tax is the development tools for development. And he now get that opportunity to bring on board a full tax system. So what you will say is that this should be, while trying to implement the tax system, there must be always be consideration. There should be a consideration. In economics, what you call a progressive tax system in economics. So that it entails, let's be rich, paying more tax than before. Let the rich be paying more than before. And even among the, there should always be tax holidays for the poor. You don't need a market woman who does a rich. To compulsorily pay you tax. One way or the other. Even though the paying tax is different to an environment. So you can even say, even though because the rich are paying tax, heavy tax for their companies, for their business, for their personal income and other things, you can use the money of the rich to sustain the poor. Because even in tax system, you try to use tax as a means to redistribute wealth. So those who are too rich, you can use the tax they're taxing them to bring to create a new face of Enugu State. Let him not implement that tax through a forceful means. He should be aware that Enugu State have not been able to be paying tax in that system before. So there must be time to be given for people to be accustomed to the issue of paying tax in Enugu State. Because it is a new development in Enugu State, new development. So don't implement it to the letter or to the full spirit and letter as you intended. because you are trying to change the narrative in a short time and a short notice.
Okay,
That is my view.
but so many persons are also complaining. I mean, if they are complaining about how large the tax is it not for the government to maybe reduce its hands, because nobody complained about tax under Ogwai's period, and nobody complained about this kind of tax under Sullivan's period. It's shocking that people are complaining about tax, under him. There must be something that he's doing that is not just right with those who have been screaming, especially those who are in business, that the tax imposed on them are just too much.
Yeah, that's what I said. Under Sullivan, under Ogwai, tax seems to be optional. You see, they don't care. So they are relying on other source of revenue. I'm telling you that the world is changing. But under P3 Gamba, he's seeing that as a veritable tool, as a method for the state, which others have not followed. And somebody who has been enjoying tax holiday for more than 30 years, if you now for him to pay tax, he will in fact, for him to adopt, he must cry. Right, so it will take time. That's why I said that whenever you don't heard about tomorrow is here, even though that's going to for people to take as is used and take as, but making a new change within a shorter possible time will create grievances. It will create a cry. It will get a cry. It will create a pain to people. So in that regard, that is why the government should also have a second eye to how they implement the task they are creating. That is good for the government to take a task system. That's what the Enugu said. But don't implement it in a too harshly. At the end of the people must pay it. Even the government must pay it. Because for 30 years, they are not paying that tax before. If they pay it once in 3 years, or once in 4 months, whenever there is once in 4 years, whenever there is a requirement for tax. So you should take into cognizance of the fact that people have not been doing tax before. So when you now impose it through arrest or through detention, people will complain. And also you should consider the plight of the low income earners or the middle class or the lower class who hardly eat food or who hardly pay their house rent. Because paying tax is to pay house rent in your note. So it will be a double burden for the person to pay tax. And also, in Nigeria's perspective, they are saying tax that you are paying tax to somebody to eat it. And not seeing what the money for tax is being used for. I do think that there will be a system in which the people from New Heaven, when you will pay tax, and the following month, they will see a street light from government. We will now educate them that this is the money you pay as part, that you need to put solar light in the area. They'll be happy. They'll pay more. But when you pay tax, they will see that the following day, you are putting a water system in their locality. And there will be an announcement that it is the tax money you paid last month or last 2 months or 3 months. But you're not using to put water. They will be happy. But here in Enugu State, there is no proper campaign, proper education on what that money is being used for. So those who are in charge should be working on proper campaign, proper announcement, proper notification on what money paid for tax. Even if it's just farmer. They should be seeing you using your vehicle to evacuate some waste in the street. And still announcement, you depend that the money you pay that you are using to evacuate. Happy. Because every day they are putting waste in that waste bin. So people, there should be a kind of a collaboration, coercion, the government and those who are being governed. But for that to be a good partnership. So that's what I say that we need to readdress how this system should be implemented. To me, they are all good to be implemented, but the issue of how can they successfully be implemented without any disadvantageous process. That's my view on that.
Okay, so for you, what do you score this governor? What do you score him in terms from say 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest? How do you score him? What's your score
One
on
to
him?
ten.
Mm, 2 years
At
down the
least
line.
at least 2 years and that. So but now you can see that to me the positive in nature. To me, it's positive in nature. In the sense that we have seen some fundamental infrastructure being made in the state, even though not yet completed. But at least you can see vision. You can see that it's something that has a vision. And that vision, we have seen that vision implemented. Because one thing is for you to have a vision, but the other thing is for you to implement that vision. And also, how you know a good leader is, a leader must know the way. And you must also go the way. And also lead the way. So, it and that is to me, it's available on ground. You can see that all the development going on in Enugu shows that he is a man that has vision. And that already captured his vision. His mind didn't come as a surprise. So he is doing what he had intended before being a governor. That is why he was able to implement these policies within 3 years. Both tax, both infrastructure, both electronic governance, computerized civil system. That is of vision. Not a one day plan of what he's doing. Not a one-day plan. It's an ambitious, careful plan. So he didn't waste time to think about what he will do for Enugu State. Just started hitting the ball rolling. So we can score him in that regard. Even though that we are calling on him, while you have already done infrastructure, you should also do what is called welfare infrastructure. That is the people's welfare. Should be personal should be paid. Workers should see a kind of incentives given to them, not even money. At least by building a local housing for them, we should give them free transport for the workers, even for the aged women in the village, giving them assistance like farm implement. So he should balance his infrastructural development with welfare of the people of his government. That is my own take on it. So while he is doing very well on infrastructure, he should do also very well on the welfare of the people. Shop water. I feel like there's no water, even though that has been promised. There are efforts being made to implement water system that serve the masses. And he has a plan. From what he said, he has a plan. But that plan, I don't know what is in that plan to be implemented. So we need to find a way. We need to find a way to bring positive changes within the remaining 2 years on how we can now affect human infrastructure, not capital infrastructure. So let's think back to welfare. The welfare, especially of housing. Yes, in Enugu State, it's coming unbearable. People are now crying based on their rights. So we have already made effort to let the House Assembly make a law that will regulate rent in Enugu State and be a leading state in the nation. If you regulate rent, or if you fail to regulate rent, then government should now use our tax money to invest heavily on mass housing. Mass housing is important. That affects the welfare of the people. So he should capture his vision towards that the issue of welfare. Because the one for capital is okay. It is okay. He's doing well in development, in roads and in buildings. But let him cave in also on welfare of the people.
One wants to say, is it welfare or stomach infrastructure? Because the level of hunger in the land is so much, and the issue of that rent is also one very important point that you have made. A lot of persons are really down when it comes to rent. It's as if he's building the state, and then people from outside are coming in, and more people coming into the state will mean they will look for houses to stay in. And if you look at it from the hindsight, a two bedroom in town would you're not going to covenant in less than 700 to 900,000, and you are not looking at for someone who has a family of say three or four. I mean, you would think that having a two-bedroom would be fair, but these days it's becoming very difficult to even pay rent.
Okay, what you said is correctly in order. Rent in fact, is a challenge to the state government. Challenge. And if he is able to adapt foreign policy or foreign idea as regards what he's doing in Enugu State, I don't know what is making him leave also that issue of that foreign policy as regards house has been done in the western side, down to Enugu State. When the colonial waters were in Nigeria, that's one of their policy is the issue of housing. One of the policy in Nigeria is the issue of housing. Because the know that is an inseparable factor to any productive activity. You must have a place to stay. Then you can take off to do any field work. Without housing, then the sun will collapse. This is why they're able to build a low-cost housing everywhere. Fact, in Enugu, you have what is called federal housing. You have other massive houses here and there. Even the corporation that was the main sort of legal then, they build houses for their staff. The police for the police. Likewise, every function that starts, since the moment they left Nigeria, that policy died. That policy died. So, I'm remember, if he has adopted the Western method of governing the state, Western method of Western fire, and the state, let him address that issue of low-cost housing. So, build massive housing for the less privileged. Then, even local government should have a place that has been marked for housing. You can even see some individuals who can, on the philanthropic basis, build the houses, let them that level around. And what government is involved. Support the policy. What we need is a platform, the government to put interest in that. It helps to reduce the issue of housing rent. Okay, now as Enugu is being lifted in a beautiful place. People will pay. Policy will come in. And the person may intend to stay or live. So where would they live? If they just come on to the blue flat, they will say almost, some people are having now that 1 million naira a year. I know in a place, if you go to that one estate now, just go and ask that they will tell you over 5 million naira a year. People need heaven. People need heaven here.
You said at Diamond Estate, how much is two rooms?
5 million. 2 bedroom flat.
Yeah. 2 bedroom flats.
2 bedroom flat, 1.5 million.
1.5.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
Even in you have more than 10 flats. 2 bedroom flats, they say 2 million naira a year. Then you have 10 they're coming 3 million naira. The living agency and other legal fees. It's too much. For people rent, through the day flat 400,000 naira then. But now they're paying what
and it's not like salary have been increased, or even incomes are even increasing by the day.
This is that even to find one is even to find the house, if you're not sure how to now, even to find the flat in a place now, you must suffer.
As in, are you serious?
I'm telling you, you need to find the one, not even the money. It's a problem. And once if you find one, they will not give you the price.
Wow.
So the state need a massive housing. Let's say, what you saw is annoying that we have a Enugu State housing development. We have a Enugu State housing corporation. But they are busy buying and selling land. They're not doing that happen. Even the one they are building, they say they are building, is for themselves and for their families. There's no impact. And they have massive land given to them by communities. But they sell it off. People know they will sell everything off. So the plan, there's not plan of using their military. So they don't put to do the work you are supposed to do. Even if it's of housing, it's also the Enugu state. But they are not giving any house, any affordable house, even if they build one. They are giving the one that they make money, or even buy and sell. And they're giving a free land. The communities are giving them free land to go and build. But they will not provide it, cut it out, and sell the post in years of naira.
Wow.
Even those who are giving the land, will not giving any money or giving any land. So we have an opportunity to help the governor by their vision, but they're not taking that line. They are taking a different line. So I call on the state government, governor of Enugu State, to mandate the Ministry of Housing. Let them produce a massive low-cost housing before the tender. Even the African Corporation in Enugu State, let them put in a mandate, a compulsory mandate, that they should put up a land where they will have massive housing, the less privilege, not for the big men, they will be the good places here and there, and people. So there should be a change. People should see that welfare, social welfare.
Yeah.
Social welfare. I don't know the possibility of the government, even the Minister of Social Development, what's in a month. So that be a place where the old men, where the less village, we go and eat food, what's in a month. Free. Possible. Just within the age of 70 upward. You can try the capture economically. As has been done in abroad. They can go stand here and take a food and eat. They will last long. Because every day is taking ahead on the next month that they will go and eat again. They will have long because they have hope. But when they don't have hope, they die quickly. True. And even in medical centers like Parkland and other places, here and other places. That is worrisome that some people, some poor aged women and men, we go there under some crucial conditions of health, and they will not treat them because of what? Within the police money. So there should be a policy, yet they can be given privilege to be treated for any emergency. I have known somebody who died because of what? They don't have money to pay for oxygen. And the left him, before you know it, he's dead. Before you know it, he's dead.
Wow.
So government should channel his energy towards people's welfare. People are dying of sickness, but they can be cured by through negligence. Medical doctors and medical officers. Because of what? Their poor conditions. So there should be a platform, there should be a policy. That is why even in part, we have what is called tax holidays or tax incentives. So you can give a privilege to some less privileged, some low income earners, or even some market women. Let them not pay tax for 6 months. And pay for 6 months. Yeah, they will happen. And they will pay it.
That's like tax holidays.
Yeah, tax holidays. It's important. So when they know that you are giving them tax holidays, they'll be happy. And they will now balance very well to make more money. I didn't pay the full money. Maybe in the next coming year. It should be done. That's why I said that cannot use too much force, too much compulsion, too much coercion to enforce that system. Because of what? We have not been accustomed to that system before. There should be a greater process that they can be incorporated into that system. And I comment
Wow. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you have really said a lot about what the government should do now. I mean, it's okay to build white elephant projects. Construction of road is good. Construction of
Good.
schools, the smart schools are good. The primary health centers are good. But I
That's good.
mean, you cannot be doing that without people suffering. If people are not able to raise monies to use.
You cannot go to school. Because the hunger cannot make you can follow to go down to school. The parents must be happy. They are also should be considered. To that prepare them. If somebody who is homeless cannot go to school, what do you do? If you are not welcome to leave, don't to go to school. That's yet to leave.
Mm,
So it is paramount. Even in law, they say that the right of the people is the paramount law. That's the highest law. People's welfare.
mm,
Another
fantastic.
thing is a secondary issue of road and happiness. If somebody who is allowed that can move around, they are hungry, you just say one place and they die. You cannot move around.
Okay, I mean
So,
you've really captured it properly. Really, I mean these are the things that opposition can hold on to. If it
mm,
continues like this into 2027, these are the things they can hold on to in order to see if they can uproot the PDP in 2027. But do you see that happening? I mean, you are of the APGA. I don't know if you have left APGA, if you are still with the APGA. Did you guys join the coalition? What exactly are your are you people's mantra for Enugu State, or your plans for Enugu State?
for now, I'm still in Abuja. I'm still in Abuja. And we are still we are independent. We have not done any coalition. We are planning ahead of the battle, of the battle that is coming up in Enugu State and beyond Enugu State. So Abuja is still Abuja. There's no change yet.
Okay.
And they still have, there's no change yet. And we are looking forward to a good outing in Anambra State very soon.
Yes,
And in fact,
let's speak about the Anambra elections. We know that Soludo has been going around lately. So many persons think that with the influence of Peter Obi, he will not be able to do so much, with consolidating on what he has done. So many persons don't like that he also has the issue of tax. People are also crying hard about the increase in tax that he's implemented in that state. And so many persons also think that he was too high-handed in the way and manner he handled the traditional rulers. They're not traditional rulers, the Okite, the Dibias, the issue. And then he said, no, not so much has been really done, for somebody who has been CBN governor, who has worked in different multi-international companies before. And one would have thought that by now, like he promised, Anambra would have been Dubai, but it doesn't look like what it is now.
uh, anyway, I don't live in Anambra, but I'm aware that for now the state is stable. The state is stable, and this electoral cannot be a hindrance to Anambra policies, because it's more focused on the national level than the state. So the people are supporting the national vision he has. So there's no threat as regards what will happen in November.
But he campaigned. He campaigned again. He campaigned with Mogalo, George Mogalo, in the last time that they kicked off campaign in Anambra.
Let's to clear that place as a campaign. We are not then have you seen him with Mahara again. Then have you seen him with Mahara? So you know that his mindset is not about Anambra. Because Trump is in both Africa. Okay, is follower at the national level. So he cannot boldly campaign for anybody. If I've got an Anambra, cannot boldly. That's how you may not put a picture that is with you. But you don't put pressure or more energy to any candidate. Anambra. Because he's national, the whole of his mission, whether at the national level. And both Abuga and other people that they have sympathy for it at national level. So he must play, he must always play his balanced role as regards of Anambra State. And his style, you see that what is happening in Anambra, even can get involved. There's not much, too much heavyweight that can challenge or challenge the incumbent in Anambra State upon one team. Not much. And the couple with of security, you can see how it has reduced drastically because he want to use it as an advantage against the incumbent. But he tackled it head on. That political gimmick that they're using. And they're all man-made. Yeah, they're all man-made. And made by the people of Anambra State. Not to punish somebody's development. Even in Benue, they are putting them as Sani 100 people. These are all man-made. From the people. They are all man-made. See, it's a tool to dislodge anybody who is in charge of power. We don't want to go too far. Not to buy cheap results. So, for image. They are all not made by our people. The Tinubu will stay Benue. Have you had much in South Africa? Because they are all man-made. Those who have been doing that in the part of the city. They came to Benue. And they said that the Alga said, the north. He's aware about them. It's calm down. They are all man-made. So whenever you hear this thing happening, think about those around. They are the propeller. Even though that they may expect heaven to be on earth, but in the content, heaven can be on earth in Anambra.
So, but if he goes like this to that election in November, do you see him winning like he won the last time, landslide, all 21 local government areas?
He will do more than that. Because I don't see any force against him. I don't see any force against him.
You don't think Labour Party? You don't think Labour Party would do him some bad?
They're really confused. Their footings have been shaky. They cannot put the time in challenge. They're really divided. There's no one house. Even in APC, you see that the candidates are divided. Every difference now the deputy. He will not to him. She shouldn't be deputy. So there will be no there. So there's no much support that can be a match to the current administration.
All right. I want to say a very big thank you to you, sir. Thank you so much for your time and for your analysis. We truly appreciate you. Barrister Alex Amujogu would always appreciate your insight, into some of this discourse. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
All right, then. That was Barrister Alex Amujogu giving us some insights into a range of issues. There are myriad of them. He gave us some direct convo. I mean, giving us some of the things that the governor is not doing, especially as it concerns the Enugu State governor. And also we delved into Anambra State just a bit, So we're back again tomorrow, same time, same place on this YouTube channel. We're going to be discussing some other things. And for those who have missed out on the live broadcast, we're going to be cutting a little bit of it, to put on the video rock. So you could catch up on it whenever you are done, but you could listen and watch over again from what we have on the live. Thank you again. We truly appreciate you. See you on the next one. Good day.